Oh, I'm not going to ruin the movie for you, but I'm going to spoil it really, really bad. Ah, 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 ah. Hey everybody, I'm Geno Reynolds from The Real Geno, and welcome to a new installment of Spoiled. Today's movie that I'm going to spoil the crap out of, Suicide Squad Extended Edition. Long story short, this extended edition isn't really worth it. That being said, when you buy Suicide Squad, you get the extended edition, so you might as well check it out. Long story short, the stuff that it has, some of it's okay. None of it really helps or makes the movie any better or really worse. You could tell why they cut some of the stuff out. Some of the stuff, while it's okay, would have made the movie a lot longer. And watching the extended version, it does make it feel a lot longer. But you do get some things that work. But then again, some of these things don't work. And let me try to explain. Of course, the thing that everyone wondered the most was where was all the Joker stuff? That was what I was thinking. I mean, he wasn't in very much of the movie. Um, Honestly, this movie should have had maybe a Joker Harley movie before it. That way, not having a lot of the Joker would have worked. Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing a Joker Harley movie. While I wasn't totally sold on Jared Leto's Joker, I still wanted to see more of it. I wanted to see what they were going to do with it. I wasn't a big fan of the relationship that they had between Joker and Harley. The relationship that I'm used to is that the Joker's abusive and he's using Harley, yet she is in love with him. The whole mad love thing. But in this, the Joker, while he kind of starts off that way, does kind of fall for her because, he accepts her crazy or whatever you want to call it. And we get some more of that stuff. They kind of extend the scenes a little bit. They show the more of the torture and things like that. And some of the stuff's okay. You get some more of the Joker, which was kind of nice that they, give you some more Joker. But then you get scenes like the motorcycle scene, which they cut in right before the scene where Joker tells Harley to jump in the chemicals and then chases after her. Um, this scene, it makes the scene feel really long because they're going somewhere. The squad's going somewhere, and she stares at a motorcycle and has this flashback of her chasing him down on a motorcycle, and then it goes to the chemical scene, and she had to have been standing there for 10 minutes. And then Deadshot's like, come on, we're leaving. And, I don't know. It just didn't seem to fit for me. While the scene was fine, but uh, it was probably a little unnecessary. And like I said, a lot of the stuff probably would have fit better in another movie and not crammed into here. Um, the scenes are fine, but you don't have to have them. Though that being said, like I said, it's nice to see a little bit more Joker. What this movie failed to deliver on, for the most part, is extending the character introductions. Some of them already worked okay. I like the Captain Boomerang Flash thing. The Diablo thing was fine because you kind of learn about him as the movie goes along, which is a good way to do it. They added a little bit more to Killer Croc, which they kind of try to humanize him a little bit, which is cool. But then again, you still did nothing for Slipknot. The second they didn't do an intro for Slipknot, I knew that he was going to be the guinea pig for the neck bomb. He steps out of the car and Captain Exposition Rick Flag says, "Oh, there's Slipknot. He can climb anything." And then it's like, yeah, he's dead meat. And sure enough, he tries to escape and boom. So yeah, they could have done more with him. That way his character death would have meant something, but being that they didn't do anything with him, you kind of knew they weren't going to use him, even though he's all over the marketing and the posters and everything else. So that was a little disappointing. But like I said, getting more Killer Croc was a good thing. They showed a little bit more Diablo. It was fine, unnecessary. But yeah, you needed to add some for Slipknot. One thing we definitely didn't need more of, the side plot of June Moon and Captain Rick Flag. That love story, first of all, the performances aren't the greatest. And of course, the Enchantress is one of the worst villains in any comic book movie. I mean, I put her up there with Malekith, and it's underdeveloped. The acting isn't the greatest. I'm not going to get into my thoughts on Cara Delevingne. Um, I'm sure she's a lovely person, but I haven't liked her in anything. Paper Towns to this. Uh, I just I didn't need more of that subplot, and they add more to the love story, and I know why they did, because they're trying to establish those characters, but I mean the characters are weak to begin with, and nothing you could have done would have helped. Another thing you get more of is Harley being quote unquote vexing. A running, I don't know if you want to call it a gag through this extended edition, is her messing with people, trying to get under their skin. She does it with a lot of the characters, and it gets to a point where Deadshot says to her, you need to stop that because these guys are going to have to be the ones watching your back, and if you've basically pissed them off, they're not going to help you. It doesn't really stop her. It just kind of adds to her quirky, crazy character, I guess. But is it necessary? Not really. The biggest thing that was missing that people wondered about, besides the Joker stuff anyway, was the bar scene. A lot of the stuff from the bar scene that was in the trailer wasn't in the movie, and they added a lot of it back in here. Some of it I could see why they got rid of it. Some of it was fine. I liked it. If anything that was added helped the movie in any way that it could, was the bar scene, because it kind of played into the whole, we're getting together kind of thing. That being said, the whole family dynamic for this movie never worked. Like when Diablo was saying, this is my family. No, that's not what these characters are. These characters are supposed to be crazy. They're supposed to be out for themselves, only making deals because it furthers their plans. And this whole trying to make it Guardians of the Galaxy thing, they tried really hard to make this Guardians of the Galaxy. And the problem there is the Guardians characters, in a way, wanted to be redeemed. They were good people or good creatures, whatever you want to call them. And they were allowed to change, and they're still changing. They're still kind of a-holes, as Star-Lord puts it. But these characters aren't supposed to be mostly redeemable. I understand like Deadshot being redeemable and Diablo being redeemable. Some of them it's okay, but not all of them. And they're trying to redeem all of them and make them all too likable. And they keep trying to remind us that they're the bad guys, and this scene kind of does that too, with the added stuff. But they're still trying to make them too much like the good guys, and you can't tell me you're the bad guy. You just got to show me. And the movie, there's nothing that this movie could have done to fix it anyway. But like I said, the added bar stuff, I liked it. It should have been in the final cut. Did it really help the movie or improve it? Maybe a tiny bit, but not enough to fix this movie's problems. Like I said in the beginning, this extended cut, for the most part, it's okay. It's not worth it. It doesn't fix any of this movie's glaring problems. The movie still has a weak villain, still has a weak story. The characters that work. The characters that don't. Nothing this extended cut does fixes that. Like I said, though, you buy it, you get the cut, so you might as well check it out in either way. But for me, it just felt long. Though it added some stuff I thought was okay, it just felt overly long. And the theatrical cut, despite its many problems, it's at least shorter, and it doesn't just try to cram this stuff in. I mean, it still has the glaring problems of the villains and the underdeveloped characters, and the fact that don't buy the soundtrack because most of the cool music that's in the movie ain't on the soundtrack. I found that out the hard way. That's another point for Guardians, by the way, because they put everything on the soundtrack. For the most part, it's not worth watching. That being said, if you check it out, I don't think you'd be too disappointed. You're not going to hate it. It's not going to change your mind on the movie the way that the Batman v Superman extended cut apparently changed some people's minds. It didn't really change my mind much. but this one's not going to change your mind at all. If you like the movie, you're still going to like it, and you're going to enjoy the extended stuff. For me, the stuff would have been fine on a deleted scenes menu option in the extra features or something. It didn't need to be added into the movie. I still want to see all the Joker stuff. That can't be all the Joker stuff. They should have just done a Joker and Harley movie. They should have done Mad Love first or something. That way, those two characters would have been established. But really, for the most part, this will not change your mind. If you like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. Don't expect this one to do anything to change that. That's going to do it for this edition of Spoiled. What did you think of Suicide Squad Extended Cut? Feel free to comment on it below, give this video a like, and subscribe to The Real Geno YouTube channel. Until next time, I'm Geno Reynolds from The Real Geno.